These are the mysterious ruins of Puma Punku, nearly 13,000 feet in the Altiplano of Bolivia.
For decades, archaeologists have been baffled by Puma Punku, a mysterious ancient site in Bolivia where massive stones, some weighing over 100 tons, are carved with laser-like precision.
You can see with this block of granite that it's really been cut very accurate right angles.
The question has always been the same. How could a civilization over 1,000 years ago cut, move, and fit these blocks so perfectly without modern tools?
Anyone could think that primitive human beings could have done this. It's just crazy.
Now, for the first time, advanced AI technology has analyzed every groove, angle, and surface. The results challenge everything we thought we knew about ancient history. And the truth might be far stranger than anyone expected. What exactly did the AI discover? Join us in this video to find out. The day Puma Punku finally spoke. In early 2025, something extraordinary happened high in Bolivia's Andes Mountains. Puma Punku, the ancient stone complex that has baffled archaeologists for decades, finally gave up one of its most closely guarded secrets. For generations, experts have puzzled over how its massive megaliths, carved with laser-like precision, could have been shaped by a civilization with no known advanced tools. The stones fit together like an intricate jigsaw puzzle, without mortar, without gaps, a feat that seemed to defy the limits of ancient technology. Some skeptics even gave up on earthly explanations entirely, pointing to the possibility of alien intervention. But then, seemingly out of nowhere, everything changed. It began quietly in late 2024, when Bolivian authorities launched a routine conservation survey at the site. While carefully clearing layers of sediment that had built up over centuries, workers stumbled upon stone fragments no one had seen in modern times. At first glance, they looked like simple rubble, until someone noticed the markings. Fine, deliberate lines and grooves were etched into their surfaces, lines that didn't match anything experts believed ancient hand tools could produce. The find sent ripples through the archaeological community. What kind of tool could have made such marks? And how had these fragments remained buried and untouched for so long? The Bolivian Ministry of Culture quickly realized that this was no ordinary discovery. This wasn't a matter for just one department or a handful of scholars. It demanded a worldwide effort. For the first time in history, they granted permission for full-scale scientific testing on Puma Punku's stones. Laser scanning, 3D imaging, and micro-sample analysis, cutting-edge technology would now meet the mysteries of the ancient world. And that's when the unthinkable happened. The 2025 investigation wasn't left in the hands of just anyone. It was led by Dr. Carlos Menendez, a renowned archaeoastronomer from the University of California, Berkeley, a man who had spent his career linking ancient structures to the movements of the stars. Menendez had a rare gift for spotting connections that others missed. And this time, he assembled a team that was nothing short of world-class. There was Dr. Elena Ruiz, a geochemical expert who could trace a stone's origin from a single speck of dust. Dr. James Wong, a computational archaeologist known for building digital reconstructions from fragments of data. Professor Ahmed Nasser, a specialist in ancient construction methods. And Dr. Miguel Cordero, whose expertise lay in indigenous knowledge systems, a role some might not expect in a high-tech investigation. But that choice would prove pivotal. For the first time, local Aymara elders were not brought in as ceremonial participants or symbolic representatives, but as core contributors to the research. Their oral histories had long been dismissed as folklore, yet, as Dr. Cordero put it, the elders knew things, and the stones confirmed them. Their stories spoke of plant-based adhesives, of aligning stones with seasonal shifts, and of sacred rituals woven directly into construction. Knowledge passed down through generations by spoken word was now standing shoulder to shoulder with cutting-edge science. With full permissions in place, the team moved in with technology the original builders could never have imagined. Drones swept across the site, capturing it from every possible angle. High-resolution photogrammetry and LiDAR scanning created detailed 3D models of every visible stone, accurate down to fractions of a millimeter. But this wasn't just about creating pretty digital images. The goal was to uncover hidden meaning in the chaos of ruins. And that's when Dr. Wong's custom-built machine learning models came into play. Feeding in over 12 terabytes of image data, the AI reconstructed a digital twin of Puma Punku, showing what it might have looked like the day it was completed. Then came the shock. The system began detecting patterns no human had ever fully seen before: precise mathematical ratios, flawless symmetry, and alignment points that seemed to connect both to the earth and the sky. When Puma Punku's stones spoke, what ancient secrets did they reveal? Keep watching to find out. The code in stone and the secrets beneath. The more the team studied Puma Punku, the more it became clear. These stones were not placed for mere beauty. They followed a deliberate mathematical logic that hinted at an intelligence far ahead of its time. Some layouts matched the golden ratio, a formula of balance and proportion found in art, architecture, and even nature. Others aligned perfectly with celestial events, marking solstices and equinoxes as if the builders were writing in stone with the language of the heavens. And then came the surprise no one saw coming. Ground-penetrating radar revealed something extraordinary beneath the ruins, a hidden network of channels and structural supports designed to manage water flow. This wasn't random. It was advanced hydrology, planned centuries before modern plumbing. Suddenly, the site's purpose came into question. Was Puma Punku only a ceremonial ground? Or was it also a carefully engineered system to harness and control water, a place where science and spirituality merged? But the most unexpected twist came not from massive stones or underground channels, but from something microscopic. When researchers examined the tool marks under high magnification, they found traces of organic compounds embedded deep in the grooves. It might have been dismissed as contamination, except the same result appeared in multiple samples. The conclusion? The builders had used plant-based adhesives to stabilize and join the stones. No cement, no alien intervention, just an ingenious use of local materials, knowledge so advanced it had slipped past archaeologists for centuries. By the time the investigation ended, Dr. Menendez summed it up in a way that left his colleagues nodding. This changes how we view ancient engineering across the Americas. What had once seemed like a mystery beyond explanation was now unfolding into a story of science, precision, and wisdom. A story hidden in plain sight for over 1,000 years. From hidden codes and secrets beneath, why was Puma Punku known as a city of wonders? Let's find out. The Gate of the Puma, a city of wonders. Puma Punku, or Gate of the Puma in the Aymara and Quechua languages, isn't just a scattering of ancient stones. In the 6th century, it was the crown jewel of the Tiwanaku civilization, a T-shaped terraced platform mound with a sunken court and a monumental structure rising above it. Today, it sits in ruins near Tiwanaku, in western Bolivia's high Andes, a UNESCO World Heritage Site that still whispers of its lost glory. The Puma Punku complex once formed part of a grand arrangement of plazas, ramps, and ceremonial spaces centered around the massive platform mound. Long ago, the monumental structure that stood on top was destroyed. Whether by time, nature, or human hands, no one knows for sure. What survives is enough to hint at its former magnificence. Archaeologists believe construction began sometime after AD 536, making it one of Tiwanaku's most important architectural achievements, rivaled only by its twin, the Akapana. Among the names preserved from Tiwanaku's past, only Akapana and Puma Punku carry deep historical weight. The site is home to miniature stone gates, perfect, scaled-down replicas of once massive full-size gateways. In its prime, Puma Punku's foundation platform is thought to have supported as many as 8 towering Andesite gateways, each intricately carved, with 5 of them resembling the famous Gateway of the Sun. These were more than just entrances. They were symbolic thresholds, possibly tied to cosmology and ritual. In Inca tradition, Tiwanaku itself is said to be the place where the world was created. And looking at Puma Punku's layout, it's easy to see why such beliefs took root. The complex featured an unwalled western court, a central open esplanade, a terraced stone-faced platform mound, and a walled eastern court, a carefully balanced blend of open space and architectural precision. At its height, Puma Punku must have been dazzling. Historical accounts suggest it was adorned with polished metal plaques, vibrant ceramic art, colorful textiles, and filled with people in ceremonial dress, priests, elites, and citizens moving through spaces designed to impress both mortals and gods. Sadly, centuries of treasure hunting, looting, stone removal for building projects, and relentless weathering have left the site in a fractured state. And yet, even in ruins, it still radiates an aura of mystery, one that the 2025 investigation began to unravel piece by piece. Does the Gate of the Puma's wonders echo in distant lands? Stay tuned to find out. Echoes of the Puma in other lands. One of the most intriguing debates in Andean archaeology is whether Puma Punku's influence reached far beyond the Tiwanaku heartland. Architectural historian Jean-Pierre Protzen of the University of California, Berkeley, has pointed out that some monumental Inca structures, like the famous Wall of the 6 Monoliths at Ollantaytambo, bear striking similarities to earlier Tiwanaku designs. For years, some scholars have argued that parts of Ollantaytambo weren't entirely Inca creations at all, but rather inherited from a much older culture, the Tiwanaku. They point to specific design elements as evidence: the step motif, carved into one of Ollantaytambo's massive monoliths, and the distinctive T-shaped sockets cut into several blocks. Both are hallmarks of Tiwanaku-style architecture, and both appear in abundance at Puma Punku. One variation of this theory suggests that stonemasons from the Lake Titicaca region, the home of Tiwanaku, may have carried their ancient building traditions to Ollantaytambo centuries later. But that raises a question Protzen himself asks: why would builders remember techniques that hadn't been used for hundreds of years? At Puma Punku, those T-shaped sockets are only the beginning. The site also features a variety of cramp socket shapes, LT, TT, UY, Z, cut into andesite with uncanny precision. By contrast, Ollantaytambo displays only the T-shaped kind. Even so, the similarities were enough to catch the attention of other scholars, including Heinrich Ubaloda Doring, Alphonse Stubel, and Max Uli, all of whom noted the shared DNA between the two sites. Whether these similarities point to direct influence, cultural memory, or the migration of master stonemasons, one thing is clear: Puma Punku's style left an imprint on the Andes that could still be seen centuries later, a silent signature of a civilization whose mastery of stone continues to defy easy explanation. Could these echoes reveal the true spiritual heart of the Andes? Keep watching to find out. The spiritual heart of the Andes. For the Tiwanaku people, Puma Punku was more than a marvel of engineering. It was part of a sacred landscape that included monumental neighbors like Akapana, Kalasasaya, Hutuni, and Karikala. Together, these structures formed a spiritual and ritual center that some scholars believe was the very heart of the Andean world, drawing pilgrims from across the region to witness its beauty and power. Puma Punku itself was deliberately aligned with Illimani, the snow-capped mountain that dominates the Bolivian skyline. To the Tiwanaku, this was no coincidence. Mountains were sacred beings, and their connection to the site may have deepened its spiritual resonance. For visitors, the experience might have been overwhelming, a mind-altering and life-changing encounter, as some researchers suggest. That effect may have been enhanced in a very literal way. Hair samples from Tiwanaku mummies, including children as young as 1 year old, have revealed traces of hallucinogenic plants. These substances were likely used in rituals, blurring the line between the physical and spiritual worlds. From AD 700 to 1000, the Tiwanaku civilization flourished. Its urban core and surrounding lands supported 10,000 to 20,000 people, sustained by an extraordinary irrigation network that stretched across more than 30 square miles. Potatoes, quinoa, corn, and other crops thrived in a carefully managed landscape, while the Tiwanaku's influence extended across the Lake Titicaca Basin and into parts of present-day Bolivia and Chile. And then, almost without warning, it was over. Around AD 1000, the civilization collapsed. The most likely culprit was a sudden, prolonged drought that devastated crop production. Unable to feed their population, the Tiwanaku scattered into the surrounding mountains. Puma Punku was abandoned, and hauntingly, it appears the builders never finished it. The grand vision was left incomplete, leaving behind the enigmatic stones that still puzzle the world today. But what ancient mysteries lie hidden within the heart of the Andes? Let's find out. Cracking the code of the H-shaped stones. For decades, Puma Punku has stood as one of the greatest ancient puzzles on Earth. High in the Bolivian Andes, its scattered stones, razor-sharp cuts, and enigmatic H-shaped blocks have fueled endless debates. How were these massive stones moved? Who shaped them with such precision? And perhaps the most haunting question was, it really just a heap of ruins left to time, or the remnants of something far more deliberate? For years, answers were elusive. But in 2025, that began to change. Thanks to a fusion of cutting-edge technology and relentless curiosity, researchers now believe they've uncovered the truth at the heart of Puma Punku. What once seemed like a chaotic scatter of megaliths turns out to have been anything but random. Beneath the apparent disorder lies a meticulously planned architectural blueprint, a design so advanced it could stand beside modern engineering. An international team, led by Roland Wong, has spent years virtually reconstructing the site using advanced 3D modeling software. By digitally reassembling the shattered stones, they've been able to bring Puma Punku back to life, at least on a computer screen. The most revealing clue came from the site's iconic H-shaped blocks. For centuries, their purpose was a mystery. Were they symbolic, decorative, accidental? None of the above, says Dr. Sofia Mendez, an architectural historian on the team. These H-shaped blocks weren't quirky ornaments. They were standardized modules, precision-engineered components designed to lock together in multiple configurations. Like puzzle pieces in a colossal three-dimensional jigsaw, each block was crafted with purpose. Together, they formed part of a modular building system that speaks to a level of planning and execution that few thought possible for the era. Through painstaking digital analysis, the team uncovered something extraordinary. These H-shaped blocks weren't just random stones. They were engineered with precision angles and cuts that allowed them to interlock tightly with other pieces. This gave the entire structure a unique combination of strength and flexibility, something even modern builders admire. The team identified 6 distinct types of these H-blocks, each designed for a specific role within the larger structure. Centuries before prefabricated homes or modular furniture, the Tiwanaku civilization had already mastered the art of modular construction, using massive stone blocks. But the builders didn't simply carve and stack. They engineered and assembled, and they did so with incredible mathematical precision. Measurements taken from various H-blocks revealed consistent ratios and proportions, suggesting a sophisticated and standardized system of measurement guided every step of the construction. Using the digitally reconstructed stones, the team created a detailed simulation, a digital twin of the entire Puma Punku site. This wasn't a rough sketch, but a fully rendered virtual replica, allowing researchers to walk through the ancient complex as if they were there, experiencing it firsthand. What did this virtual journey reveal? Far from a chaotic pile of stones, Puma Punku was a symmetrical ceremonial space, perfectly aligned with the cardinal directions. Its platforms and courtyards weren't haphazard. They followed a deliberate, masterful design. Even more mind-blowing was the discovery of an elaborate water system carved right into the stonework. When simulations modeled how water would have flowed through these channels, it became clear the system was not just practical, it was theatrical. Water would have cascaded through carefully engineered channels, creating a dynamic, living artwork that shimmered and danced during rituals. Imagine standing in a sacred courtyard, surrounded by stone and sky, as water moved in perfect harmony with the ceremonies, a breathtaking spectacle. The digital reconstruction also gave clues about how people might have moved through the site. Some areas were open and welcoming, while others became progressively restricted, suggesting a spiritual hierarchy. The deeper one went into the complex, the more exclusive and sacred the space became. Was Puma Punku a gathering place for the community, a site of prayer, a stage for elite rituals, or perhaps all three? But the team's work didn't stop at digital models. To put their theories to the ultimate test, the team turned to cutting-edge technology, 3D printing. They created scale models of those iconic H-blocks, then carefully assembled them by hand, just like the original builders might have done centuries ago. This hands-on approach wasn't just for show. It allowed the researchers to see how the pieces fit perfectly together, how they could withstand simulated seismic stresses, and even how the spaces shaped sound. Dr. Takeshi Yamamoto, the project's engineering archaeologist, emphasized how crucial building these models was for understanding the ancient techniques. The angled cuts and interlocking design didn't complicate construction. They actually made it easier. A mind-blowing fact considering the Tiwanaku didn't have modern machinery or tools. One of the biggest surprises came from testing the acoustics. In the full-scale replica of the central platform, sounds made in one area echoed clearly and beautifully in another. This suggests that sound itself was part of the architectural plan, perhaps to amplify voices during ceremonies or rituals. So, after years of research, the big takeaway is that the research team is clear. Puma Punku isn't just a messy pile of broken stones as once thought. It's a complex, deliberate, and brilliantly engineered masterpiece. Every cut, every angle, every block served a specific purpose. So, what are your thoughts about the Puma Punku's impossible stones? Let us know in the comments section below. Thank you for watching this video. We hope you found it interesting. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Click the next video shown on your screen to catch up on your favorite celebrity stories. See you there.